Good afternoon, folks. We are live once again. Let me switch everything over, get the BGM turned on, and we will return to what I'm sure is going to be a productive session in Satisfactory. Alright, we got background music. I'm running through a chill playlist again. It's different from the one we've been doing. I see Red Dragon's here with the resub for 14 months. Over a year. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Hope you are doing alright. Seems like it's been a while because of me having to take another break last week. Between the middle of November and now beginning of December, my stream schedule's been so chaotic and weird, but it should be pretty stable going forward. I don't anticipate that I'll need to go anywhere anytime soon, so we should be back to our regular scheduled program. We have a lot to go through in today's session. First, now Red Dragon, you're playing Satisfactory too. I don't know if you've been in the game recently, but they are doing a Christmas event called Fixmas right now, and there's some stuff unique to this event. I think it goes through January, but presents drop around the map, and there's some unique things you can craft.
Do we need that?
And I'll kind of keep an eye out as we're going, because we're going to be touring a couple different sites here while I kind of show what's happened in the factory since we last checked in. But in the hub, there's a little advent calendar here, and each day of the event, you can click on the little things. You have to kind of look for them. I forget where number 3 was. I've done 1. Oh, let's see, where was 2? We unlocked 2 already. But we need there's 2 down here. 3. Here's 7, 5. I know I saw it before. It's been a handful of days since I've been... Oh, there's 3, so we need 4. No, there's 4. I think it's every day of the month, so now we need 5. Oh, that's 15. 9, 12, 8... 20. Our Dragon says I haven't been on in about a month. No, you can get you should be able to go and retroactively get all the days. It's just every day of the month it unlocks another one. So you can go and get all the ones you haven't got. So I should be able to get like 5 of them. I need number 5. We'll see what we can find. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'll show off how it works. Assuming I'm not blind. Oh, I think it's 5 down here. So when you find the number, it opens up and you get a little gift. Pulse Nobelisk, so that's nice. So now I need 6. There's 6. Ooh, unique skins.
Obviously, these Fixmas decorations do not increase efficiency. In fact, they are a downgrade on every level. They can be found in the customizer.
Our Dragon asks, are they unique or from the game before? They did this event last year, but I don't think it was done the same way. I don't actually know what the event was. A couple people I know who've been playing early access for a bit said they did it before, but they structured it differently this year, so I don't think it's the same. But I think they do it every year. It's kind of like a fun in-game event. It sounds like they kind of tweak things every time. I don't know if this calendar thing was there last year. Oh, there's 7. Ooh, healing.
Humans tend to catch colds during the winter. It would seem that this does not apply to you, but considering your tendencies, Fixit has seen fit to provide a medicinal inhaler just in case.
Okay. Let's see if we can do number 8.
This data cartridge enables the third pair of Fixmas Mantry branches to be unlocked. There is a chance you are doing this because you enjoy the seasonal event for some reason. There is also a chance you are simply doing this to annoy me.
Meanwhile, we get snarky
I
comments
wish for
from
you to know
Ada.
that, in either case, you have disappointed me.
Okay, can we do number 9? Ooh. Fix-It tickets. That's nice. About 10. And the actual unlock system here is not that hard. I know it took me a second to find a couple of the early ones. If you want to find a number, you can just type it down here for a hint. It'll show you where it is. It's not meant to be difficult. Let's see. Where's number 10? Get a hint. Okay, I think we're up to 9. Oh, here's 10. Okay, so that'll be unlocked tomorrow. There's 9 of them. So Red Dragon, if you go in there, it looks like you can unlock up to 9 as of today. That's cool. Ooh, okay, got a new hard drive. Coded cable. These are alternate recipes. I have a whole bunch of hard drives I need to scan. We'll take the cable one for now. But the Fixmas Holiday event has a whole tree of things to unlock, and you need these cartridges and other materials in order to unlock them. Okay, so we could do this one. Candy canes.
Candy canes are used to create several items. In this case, when combined with the Xeno Zapper, you will gain a piece of equipment perfect for use against anyone on my naughty list. Like whoever hard-coded and black-boxed this event.
Okay, we need to actually craft a bunch of these materials. I'll have to section out part of the factory. There are components that need to be crafted with the different bits you get from doing the event, but they can't be crafted by hand. They have to be done through constructors. So I think I put a crate over here. But nope, I didn't. I'll put storage here for now. Because we need to go take a look at what's changed in the factory first. Actually, I'll hold on to these. I'll put the presents in here. I'll go drop these in our main storage. As far as progression goes, we're currently on phase 4. Phase 4 is tough. I have crafted one of the 4 components you see in the upper right corner. Depending on what I decide to do today, we might work on... What goes in there? Trying to at least increase production a bit. It's this one specifically. I think I'm close. But as we'll see, I've been kind of distracted setting up some alternate sites for stuff. So there hasn't been a whole lot of progression on the final phase. But first, let's dump some of the stuff we don't need in here. And hopefully we can get some more fuel. What I'll do is we'll go on a bit of a tour once I show off some of the updates in the main factory site here. And I wanted to check on fuel too. So ground floor, I think last time I streamed this, I'd already started working on all of the smelting stuff, so I don't think that's new. Honestly, don't remember. I think it's been like a month and a half since I last streamed this. But basic ore smelting is here. What I wanted to do is have it all being run into the factory from where it's being mined, and then it could be lifted up one floor to first tier production. And it's more organized now, but it's definitely not like a super optimal factory. I probably won't be able to do that till I actually spend time building everything from the ground up. But for the most part, we now have all of the basic tier components being crafted and stored. The crystal ore situation I'm going to have to fix at some point. There is a decent amount of demand for the silicate, these white packages here. The main other thing that crystals create, these things, quartz crystal, I don't use a ton of that yet, but the other stuff that's created silicate I use a lot, so this really needs to be its own separate section of the factory. But I have it all being run in from one other site, which I think we looked at before in the jungle, so I'll have to fix that. Ooh. I have Mark 5 belts. I actually have Mark 6s unlocked, but I haven't started building stuff for them yet. So if we go up one tier above, what I tried to do is restructure this floor slightly so that the stuff being pulled up from the bottom tier 1 is actually going to places where it needs to be constructed. All this stuff used to be overflow storage for the dimensional depots. In fact, I gotta get rid of this at some point. It's not serving any function. But there are a couple major choke points for resources again now. I have everything going to craft the pieces for phase 4. And one of the things, at least last time when I was playing that I noticed, we have a steady influx of rubber and plastic coming in from the fluid site where all the oil was being harvested and processed, but it was running out, so I don't even know if it's okay. It's sort of stockpiling here, but I got plastic going to a bunch of different things, so ultimately I'll need to either add another site for plastics or increase the production from the site that it's currently on, because one thing we'll look at, it's kind of a mess up in the sky, but there's a bunch of train sites that bring stuff to the main base now, which I'll get to in a sec. But basically the plastic stuff's being used for a whole bunch of circuitry and things over here, but I essentially have to wait for the train to deliver the next series of stacks in order for it to feed out to wherever it's going. And so the fact that it's coming out here from the lifts means a shipment just dropped off, and I think the train's either on its way back or has already left. So it's not constant. Rubber, I think rubber's alright. I'm using a lot less of that at the moment. Our Dragon asked new Christmas outfits. Yeah, I think that's what the unique skins were. I didn't actually look, but we can double check. In character customization. Oh yeah, we got unique trinket. We'll put that on. We'll be festive. I think there's more. I think there's an actual full outfit skin that you can get. Maybe even a hat. And I'm using the hover pack. I honestly don't remember if I had this last time I streamed this game, but if you see me flying in the air, that's why. Very handy. Something I recommend going for and unlocking as soon as you can. As long as you're connected to power, near power sites, then you can just fly indefinitely, which makes it really useful for building. Okay. So most of the second and third tier stuff's being crafted on this floor. You'll see the dimensional depots are now hooked up to things that are producing. So if we go into our inventory, we can see these are all things that are, for most of them are being fed automatically from production, and some I just dumped in here because I needed the room and space in my inventory. But with the exception of plastic, everything else that's being fed in here, since there's no overflow for plastic yet, there was earlier, everything else is pretty much being fed automatically, so I don't have to worry about having ingredients on my person. I can pretty much craft what I want. But some of the advanced stuff I can't yet. Okay, that's what those are. Alright, we'll go up one floor. This floor is going to need to be kind of revamped a bit because the tier or phase 4 things need quite a bit, and I need to fix the production, but I have not spent a lot of time at the main base for reasons we'll get to in a sec. But the top floor right now is all of the advanced things that I've been trying to produce to complete the phase and progress up the tech ladder. But the main one that I worked on last time I was sitting down to play this was getting rocket fuel, which was an interesting process, but that is now what we're using for our primary fuel source. And it's being produced at a decent pace here, but it requires a mix of turbo fuel, nitrogen, and a whole bunch of other higher tier resources that I had to get all the way over here to craft this. But eventually, maybe we'll try and do it today. I would like to learn about drones and how drones work for logistical transportation. That's something I haven't got into yet because it's kind of a higher tier tech. But you need fuel for drones, so that's why I wanted to go rocket fuel. Let's see, we could put another depot up here. I don't have any Mercer spheres on me. That's okay for now. If we land and I switch to the regular jetpack, this is the one that has finite boost because it's based on fuel. One thing I noticed is that the rocket fuel gives you a huge amount of propulsion, and it doesn't deplete super fast, but like you can get some serious height and forward momentum. So this will make getting across the map a lot easier, in addition to being able to fuel drones, which is the other reason I wanted to have it unlocked. So with this, we can actually probably get to our different sites fairly quick without having to take the train. But first, let's get the presents. And from what I could tell, the Fixmas presents spawn kind of randomly around the map. You can tell where they've landed because there'll be this pillar of sparkly light. So we'll grab them wherever we see them, since we'll need them to craft the different things for the event. Okay, so this gives you a little bit better shot of the chaos that is my train platforms. One thing I need to do eventually is actually put some sort of support so it doesn't look like they're just flying in the air. But for now, there's 4 different train sites that all come to the main base. And I think last time we were here, there's maybe 1 or 2. And so this one on the far side, I believe, this is the one coming from the oil site, which I have them labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but I don't remember which is which. This one, I believe, is bringing aluminum type of solution you need for higher tier metals. This one over here might be nitrogen, and this one over here is turbo fuel. So I guess what we could do is we can fly over to a couple of these other sites. In fact, you could see one of the major ones over here. It's all the way off in the distance. So maybe we'll go there first. Like, way I can explain what I'm actually doing in each of these. So I guess this will be a good road test for how effective the new propulsion is for just getting across the map. I'll have to look into the hypertube cannon systems I've seen people design, which lets you just yeet yourself across the map. But for now, we can either use the train, or we can just zip over. Ammo-wise, I'm using turbo ammunition, which I don't remember if I had this last time I streamed Satisfactory, but this is a high damage, high capacity type of round that speeds up until you empty the mag, and it's 75 bullets per mag. So it does damage pretty quickly, but it spreads out into kind of a fan pattern, unlike homing, which homes in on target. So if you get right in something's face, you can light it up and do a ton of damage. But if it's something quick or fast, it's a little bit harder to aim. Okay, should put us right underneath the base site here. Ah, there it is. I'll pull up the map when I get here, kind of explain. The big thing here, I don't think there's anything being actively shipped out from this site. This is the first nuclear site. And I eventually need to come up with some solutions to some issues with this. But basically, as you proceed in the game, in fact, I gotta be careful not to get too close to that because it's radioactive. As you get further, energy demands obviously go up. And you kind of go from the oil-based fuel power generation, which is kind of mid-game from what I've read, and later game is setting up nuclear. And this requires mining uranium and a whole bunch of other things in order to get the actual plant to run. And you have to craft a bunch of components that go into the uranium fuel rods, which are these green things being fed out to each of the reactors and causing them to start producing power. But the big thing with nuclear that I have not gotten a solution to yet is each of the plants, as they cycle through and output power, produce nuclear waste, which are these little green barrels that are being carted off to these massive storage towers over here. And that stuff cannot be thrown into the sink. You technically can't discard it. I believe you can flush it down the toilet at the hub, but there's no easy way to just get rid of nuclear waste. So what you end up having to do is figure out what to do with it. For now, it's being stored, which is a temporary solution, but there's a higher tier of tech that'll allow you to break down the nuclear waste into a different material that results in a higher tier of power source. And I believe you can just break down the higher tier things after you refine it and then just sink those. But I don't have a setup to do that quite yet. I believe particle acceleration is the first step, but you have to take the waste, break it down into a new component, break that down, then break it down into something else, and then you can sink that. Or turn it into plutonium, I believe, which is a higher tier of fuel source than the uranium. So this major area is kind of a work in progress. The reactors are not constantly on because I think it's because of water. Yeah. In addition to the rods, and again, I gotta be careful because if I get too close, I start taking radiation damage. In addition to cycling the actual fuel rods, you need water, and that causes the whole thing to go and produce power. But I believe I'm running out of pressure on water. I have it being pumped in from a couple different places. Let's see if that helps a little bit. But these things are not hitting their water capacity. They're bottoming out, which is why they turn off every once in a while. So I gotta fix that. There's either gonna need to be a larger concentration of water being pumped up here for the sites to use, or I'll have to figure something else out, because these should be on constantly, but you see them turning on and off, unlike these two. So it's possible these two are monopolizing all the water, and I need to have a different source devoted to just these two. Ultimately, I'd want a whole field of these, because our power demands are eventually going to go up. Right now, we're kind of fluctuating between, I think, 15 and 18,000 megawatts, depending on if those two reactors are actually going. When they shut off, I think it dips the power a little, but our max consumption's a little under 8K. Oh, you can see it dip all the way down to like 13 for a sec. So we're roughly less than half our total capacity, give or take. So that's something I need to solve, because the more sites I build and everything's hooked into one massive power grid, the demand is going to continue to go up. And so we'll need to have more output, steady output from the main site here in order for it to not be fluctuating. So that's on my list of things to take care of. But looking at the map, I said I'd pull the map up. So first off, I have pretty much explored the entirety of the map. There's a chunk here and a little bit up on the coast that I haven't seen, but for the most part, everything you see here bounds the current explorable territory in Satisfactory. There might be a little bit here over on like the Florida peninsula, but everything else on the coastline, I spent a lot of time walking around and looking at stuff. But down here is our main base site. You can see little moving icons. These are all the trains going to and from the main site, where we have the elevator, our hub, and satellite bases or sites where everything's being produced or harvested and sent over. So we have site B. This is where all the oil stuff is. This site is site E. This has nitrogen. We can fly over there in a minute. This over here, we're at, I don't know if I gave this one a name because it's not trucking anything to and from, but this is the nuclear site. All the way over here, this should be site B. No, this is site D. I don't remember what's being harvested here. I was gonna say I thought it was uranium, but that's closer to where I'm at here. It's all being mined over at this one up north. This, I don't think this is aluminum. Maybe it is. Yeah, this might be aluminum over here. And this one is site B. This one should be... Oh, no, that's C. Regular resources. Pretty sure this is a mix of iron and copper being shipped out from here. Eventually, I need to go reorganize these sites a little bit better. Now I'm curious. So we'll go here next. Should be easy to fly over. But first, I want to see how much nuclear waste we've managed to accumulate up here. Okay, well, that's a decent amount. Stacks of 500. But they haven't even filled one crate yet. So it's a very, very temporary solution. But at some point, we'll need to take all of that, redirect it into additional processes to break it down and actually get rid of it. I think earlier on, I went and dumped a bunch in a little shame crate down here, which I could do since I'm here. Tricky thing is, I'm almost out of the little filters right here. These are for my hazmat suit. This will protect against radiation, but when it runs out, I will take very rapid damage and I'll die almost instantly. So I think I need to get more of that before I try and move everything elsewhere. It'll be fine for now. But if we want to build out more nuclear plants, then we're going to need a solution, because as soon as it fills up, these will all turn off. All right, let's see. We want to go this way. Let's make a beeline towards Site D, which again, I think is the aluminum site. Find out. Also look out for any items of interest. There's still some hard drives and some summer sloops and other things I haven't found. I haven't found everything in the game by any stretch. Okay, so this is Site D. Yeah, this is aluminum. Things being harvested here are bauxite. Bauxite, and it's being converted into the actual aluminum solution, which I don't need a ton of. So I think production here is fine for now. I think all these overflow tanks are probably full. Yeah. What we have here is a train station, but unlike some of the other ones that we've seen in the playthrough so far, this one is a fluid storage system. And so when the train comes back, instead of loading up crates of physical materials, it loads up big fuel tanks. And the liquid being carried is the aluminum solution. And so these aren't being depleted. that fast. Illumina is the name. But it trucks all of these over to the main site and pumps them down in the main platform where it's being used to create a bunch of the like aluminum alloy metals. Okay, so we had nuclear site, aluminum. This is nitrogen. I guess we can go over here. That's the first gas that I started harvesting. That's a bit further. In fact, it's almost back the way we came. Alright, we can pop over there. Is that E? I think I'm pointing directly at E. Yeah. Okay. In this area, I forget the canon name for this kind of red forest area, but this place is dangerous. I think it's considered one of the more advanced areas in the game because there's a lot of really dangerous mobs that hang out here. And so you definitely don't want to go out this way unless you're decently armed. And a lot of radiation sort of scattered around as well. So if you don't have protection against radiation, it's also not good. Alright, there's the site. All the way down there. Uh-oh. Okay, we need to touch down before I run out of propulsion. It'd be a shame to crater myself and die. I think there's one tier of fuel higher than rocket fuel, ionized fuel, which requires a whole bunch of other stuff. So for now, I'm going to just stick with this fuel type and it should serve its purpose perfectly fine. Alright, where's E? Make sure I can pay attention to where I'm actually going. Oh, okay, overshot. So this one is also pulling up fluid, or gas technically, nitrogen gas. And so this requires something I just unlocked a couple sessions ago, which is a type of gas harvesting tech. So these nodes we've seen kind of around the map up till now need a specific type of machine to basically harvest the gas and process it so that it can be pumped out through these satellite things. So you have to throw something on top of the main node, and then each of the satellite ones can have an additional well extractor, I forget the name, and then that can be sent out and harvested. So all the stuff is pumping nitrogen gas and putting it into storage tanks to be sent off to the main site. And this is meant to be like a water tower to keep the head lift. And I just realized or learned yesterday that Gas doesn't require head lift, so I don't need to do this in the future, but I'll just leave it for now. Fluids have head lift, but not gases, so that's good to know. I think you can just pump them wherever they need to go. But the gas itself is being stored here, so that when the train comes, it can load them up and then truck them over to the main site. Alright, so that's E. We've been over here. We were just up here and over here. So I think that's all of the major sites that weren't here last time I streamed Satisfactory. So now I guess the question becomes, how are we going to target our construction for session today? I think it's... Oh, it must be under transport. Yep. So drone ports. Functions as home ports to single drone, which transports available input back and forth between its home port and destination port. So you set a destination point A and a point B, and the drones themselves are these kind of little plane looking things. They're actually decently big from what I've seen, but these function like messengers or couriers, and they'll transport a finite set of stacks of material from point A to point B. And so these require AI limiters, engines, aluminum plating, cooling systems, and manual miners. Okay. This is material I have back at the main site, but I don't have a stockpile of the limiters. That's something I started trying to maximize because a bunch of things need that. Okay. What we can do is we can put the logistics. I'm going to put that. I guess we can put it on here. So to actually create the ports themselves, we need high-speed connectors. Okay, that I think I have more of, but it's not being put into dimensional storage. We should fix that. Okay. So AI limiters and high-speed connectors, we need to make sure we have production of that. And the cooling systems, which is the far right one, I believe. Oh no, that's something different. Is it radiators? Radio control units. These are used in a bunch of things, like the turbo motors, which was on the last phase. This is phase 3. But I think this is used in the things for phase 4. Here we go. Thermal propulsion rocket. Okay, that's what these things are used for on the tier. It's the second to last one in phase 4. Okay, radio control unit. So really, we need to start automating this, because I don't think I have a stockpile of these being produced. Oh, that's going to be fun. These are all higher tier things, so it looks like I won't be able to put off fixing production. I know computers especially, this is what's taking a decent chunk of plastic. These also, I'm pretty sure I'm bottlenecked here too. So really, we need to solve that problem first. Okay. Well, the train is not going to be here, so I guess we're going to hoof it. I was talking to a friend of mine who's been playing this game a lot longer than I have, and he's got a co-op save with his brother who's been playing the game longer than him, and he was showing me pictures of their railway setup, and they didn't do what I did, where they have end-to-end train stations floating up in the ether. Theirs are all, it looks like they're on the ground, but they're multi-track stations with signals. So you have things kind of crisscrossing and intersecting. I haven't even gotten into train signaling yet. I just have things going from point A to point B, loading and unloading. But they have like a whole complex network of trains going and crisscrossing. And if they don't have it set up correctly and they intersect, they'll crash and destroy the entire infrastructure. That'll be something maybe to play around with later. I just wanted to have everything out of the way since the terrain can be really uneven. But there's no physical grounded support on these, so they're just flying train stations for now. Okay. Let's go ahead and make sure we save as we've been running around. So let's take a look at component by component, and we might actually have to go and deal with the plastic situation too. But let's try and focus on one thing at a time. First thing is computers. Computers are being produced right here. And they're being fed to a bunch of different higher tier things one floor up. But really, what we need is more than one. There's more demand than just a single manufacturer can produce. The question is, we know we need plastic, circuit boards, and cable. And cable is being produced one floor below at a pretty decent rate. There's not really an issue of cable. The circuit boards are full, almost full, but I think if we had another one of these, we would potentially outpace our circuit board production too. So what I really need to do is have one tier of the circuit boards being produced in a large enough quantity, since they're being used for a bunch of things, not just computers. And then likewise have enough of the plastic to feed a couple of these. So that's the potential problem. This floor is kind of just set up to be whatever I needed at the time, versus the first floor and the second floor, which I tried to organize a bit more. I haven't gotten to that on this floor at all. It was, I need this material, it's being produced here, which is why you have spaghetti belts going all over the place, feeding all the different components. I almost wonder if it makes sense to go and move computers one floor up. So we have a lot more room up here. we would just have to pull all of the components up to this level. But that might actually work out okay. Huh. Let's just fill in all of the real estate and see. Because we could put it here. I think we could move everything up one floor and put potentially 3 manufacturers here. I just don't know if we have enough plastic. I think plastic and the circuit boards would potentially bottleneck production. But if we did move it up, we could put more of the circuit boards one floor below. Yeah, circuit boards are being pulled up from 2 points. Huh. And they're being sent over to something that's using them over there. Let's see if we can figure it out. Yeah, they're being produced here. And I think there's another one down here. Yeah, this thing is also producing them. That's an alternate recipe I picked up. Silicon circuit boards use copper and silica instead of plastic. Which I'm pretty sure that's what the main recipe uses. Yeah, plastic and copper. We have copper being pulled up from here. I should upgrade all these to Mark 5s while I'm here. I'll at least get them to where they need to go faster. Those are already 5s. Those are 5s too? Yeah. Oh, I don't have 6s unlocked yet. Okay. That might be on the next tier. It's fine. Fortunately, we have a lot of the aluminum needed to put down Mark 5 belts. And so this must be pulling copper sheets from one tier below. That's the other part of the immediate bottleneck. There's a couple places, one floor below, that are producing the sheets, but they're being split amongst several things, so there's not enough. These are all copper ingots being pulled out from site B, I think, where all the ore is being sent over. And I think I have enough, but I guess while we're here, we can check to make sure we're not bottoming out on everything being sent over. The amount of resource management as you start getting further and further into the game starts to pile up. At some point, I thought about just taking this entire factory and just scrapping every floor, which is kind of what I did for 1 and 2, but we'll see what we can work with first. Ooh. Totally normal Fixmas gift. That looks like an obelisk. In fact, it is death. I saw that in another YouTuber's video, which is funny, I guess. But a little bit annoying because I have to go pick up all my stuff. Fortunately, I have a lot of stuff. But yeah, while you're doing the event, if you see something that looks like a detonator, don't touch it. It will kill you instantly. Okay. What we want to do is we want to go up here and double check and make sure we're not running out of material. I think we are indeed running out of material. That's what I thought. So it's dropping off several stacks of the copper each time, and all this is being fed over to the main site and being used. So we have basically 2 lines of copper being pulled out of the station to be fed to all different spots in the main site. So really what I need to do is I need to get drones set up to start pulling in the basic resources, I guess starting with copper. Okay. So we set up an alternate site that's going to be smelting and putting together ingots. We can have it. We can test out drones and by having them fly over here, I guess. That will be the first test. I just need to go grab the components to make the platforms and the drones themselves. And we'll grab whatever presents happen to be in the area, unless they're bombs. Okay, radio control units. That was one of the things we need. And I do not for the life of me remember if I'm producing that on its own or if it's being shipped off to be used for something else. Here's high-speed connectors. These are not being consumed as much, so I could throw these in dimensional depot storage, since we know we need them to craft some of the things for drone platforms. But radio control units. Oh, that's adaptive control units. Oh, AI limiters are here. Okay, that's good. Supercomputers. This is something else for the actual phase. They're extremely slow. Assembly director system. That's the first one in phase 4. Okay, I don't think I'm actually creating the radio controlled units anymore. I thought I was, but I suppose not. Okay, well. Oh, is this supposed to be sheets? Yeah, okay. I guess I can go look and see if I can create the radio control units manually for now. If not, we might have to just try and set up platforms now. And then see if we can solve all of the bottlenecks one tier below. I can craft them. Two at a time. Eventually I'll need to work my way up to pressure conversion cubes as well. I think that's one of the next things I need in order to get to this one. This is nuclear pasta. I think these two in the middle are going to be the biggest pains for the phase 4. Let's see, how much do I need to actually build one of the platforms? 10? Okay. So first off, I guess we want to figure out where we want this stuff going. We could pull... I think it makes sense to be one floor below this. The reality is we need a lot of copper, but this whole corner of the factory needs to go. Okay, maybe we'll put it up here if there's room. Question is, where is the nearest copper? There's some down here. None of these are labeled, but I think these are iron. So what we could do is turn this into a copper smelting site, have all of the ingots be made here to potentially ship up to here where I'm at right now. Maybe we can do this. How much room do I... Oh boy, that takes a lot of space. Okay, let's set this up and use this as an experiment. I've never used drones, so this is real-time learning how this piece of tech actually works. Let's see if we can actually figure it out. Okay, so those look like inputs and an output. We'll call this copper B. And the other one will be copper A. And now we actually need to make the drones. There we go. Now we have it powered. Oh, it needs fuel. That's probably what one of the inputs are for. Down here. Let's do this for now. Ultimately, what I think I'll have to do is belt down the rocket fuel from where it's being produced here. But for now, let's do this. I want to get this thing to work more than anything else. But we need to go to that other site and set up the other corresponding port. And guess I'll have to figure out in real time how to link them together. Okay. Which direction are we headed? Fortunately, we have power lines kind of running all over the place. There it is. So it shouldn't be hard to hook that up to mining, but that looks like breakable terrain. It is. Huh, I don't think I've ever been down there. Let's have a look. Maybe there'll be treasure. Oh, this might connect to one of the SAM points. Maybe I have been down here, just from the outside, not above. Spiders. Stingers are a good reason why you'd want to use homing ammo. They're so small. The big ones, pretty easy targets for turbo. But large amounts of the little ones, I think it makes more sense to use homing. They do have, if we run into more of them. There's also bombs. These are cluster nobelisks. They go off and spread a whole bunch of charges that explode in a radius from dealing with a whole bunch of small targets. That's pretty handy. Oh, okay, yeah, that connects to this area. This is where we have our mining pulling up SAM, much. I'm not using a ton of it at the moment. Huh. Okay, I didn't even know you could get down here from up top. I guess that's good to know. Ah, here it is. Alright, we got a limestone. But our main point of interest here is copper for now. I guess what I want to do is actually set up a mini factory. What kind of node is this? Normal? Are there any more? No, we got that one covered. That one. Okay, looks like it's just this one. Everything else is a bit further out. Okay, I think I know what I want to do here. We are going to set up a brand new factory right here. And we'll test the drone system once we get everything up and running. And I think what I'll do, just to make it a little bit less of a hazard, I'm going to build the actual floor of the factory right over this crevasse so I don't fall in it by accident. And we will need to clear brush. So that it doesn't get in the way of the factory floor. And to make things easier, we can go up with the jetpack. And I think I'm going to build out this way a little. If anything, we can go up, because we're going to have the miner here pulling in all of the copper, and then we're going to actually build out the smelters here on all this floor space I'm making. These are, yeah, iron, okay. Have been out here, just didn't set up for copper. I don't know if I'm going to make this an enclosed, completely enclosed factory. We'll see. I did that for one of the other iron sites that I started setting up, but I don't know if we need to be that fancy for this one. first we gotta get rid of all the trees. Okay. Now for our smelting setup, we can use a blueprint that I'm gonna have to tweak slightly. I can't remember if I had blueprints set up last time I streamed this. I honestly don't remember. But it is handy to have for something like this. Let's see if we can get a little higher up. Trying to align everything with the floor grid. Just make it a little bit cleaner and easier to manage. Yeah, it'll be fine. So at Blueprints, you can set up how you want to build things, and rather than have to do it piece by piece by piece, you just drop in the components and they'll just plop them in like that. A really setup would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. 8 wide gives us enough clearance over here because we're going to need to wrap everything around to the front. Ooh, we need to make more of those portable miners. I don't have that automated anywhere. I haven't had to use them in a while. Okay. Should have enough to just craft them outright. And we need a workshop, not a crafting bench. Yeah, I can make a whole stack of these. This will be a good time for me to go fry some chicken. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to let this run for a sec since we're going to need a whole stack of these things. I will be back in 1 minute. All right. Okay, we got 50 of them. That should do for now. Now we just need to hook up the mining device. And I think I'm gonna supercharge this one so that we get more output. Well, one thing I've done, in fact, I need to go craft more of these, is I have the power shards in my dimensional inventory. I just pull them out as I need them and chuck them back in there when I don't need them. But we'll have this sprout up here. It'll clip through, but that's okay for now. And if we throw 3 of these in here, we go from 120 to 300 a minute. Now we just need to upgrade all these belts to 5s. This blueprint needs to be retooled at some point. I just haven't gotten around to redoing it with higher tier belts, making sure all the middle parts are connected. Okay, but we'll make sure they're all powered. And we want these set up to be smelting copper. Okay, there they go. Now we can see how the drone transportation would work. Where are we? We're down here. We set up the... I can see it from here. Right there's the destination. Oh. I just realized I'm going to need fuel out at this end too. That's going to be an entirely different problem I got to solve. Huh, that's actually kind of a good question. I would need to belt fuel all the way out here. Okay, well, okay, we'll deal with that when we get there. I just want to figure out how to get the thing to actually go. Okay. Now we have a drone. We need to get this thing to actually receive the cargo that's going to be shipping out. A whole bunch of presents. I guess we can grab all those on the way back to the base. But we need to connect all the output. This has to go in here. And it does need to be fueled. Ah, I see. So this one we're going to call copper source. The question is, how do I actually set up what it's supposed to do? Okay, here we go. So this has got to go to copper B. Copper B's got to come here. There we go. Now it's actually... Now it's actually porting everything over. And it looks like 18 stacks. Wait, where'd it go? $18 stacks in storage, but I wanted to see how much the drones hold. This is the one that came from the other site, I think. Let's see if it'll tell me in the actual codex. 9 inventory slots. So I wonder if I have to tell it to wait. Just like in a train, to tell it to wait until everything's been completely loaded. Let's see how much it's going to pull. Because I think this is the storage. This is what the actual facility is storing. Will it just give 1 stack? Or will it take both stacks? Nope, it will take both stacks. Okay, so it's going to grab everything that's currently accumulated. So if anything, we need either pause and let this thing fill up, or we need overall faster production, either or. Uses 3.98 per trip. Does that mean 3.98 stacks? Yeah, that's probably what that means. Okay, let's boost these. It's going to be kind of a lot of shards, but I'm curious to see how much more we get. Looks like we're gonna get roughly 2 stacks worth. A little more. Since it takes a while for them to actually load the crate. No. Thought I pasted that on all of them. There, now it's going. If we had multiple nodes, then I could do more than one floor or more than one cluster of smelters. I think what I'd want to do if it was a multi-node setup is have 1 or 2 floors of everything smelting and then have the drone port on the top floor and then have everything pipe up to storage there. But for now, I think that will do. Okay, let's hoof it all the way back. And I guess I need to solve the fuel problem. I guess another solution would be to have a drone flying fuel over, but I think it would deplete it really quickly if I did that. Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. I wonder if there's a maximum range between drone ports, or if it's just a higher consumption of fuel the farther you have them flying between point A and point B. Okay, so these can store a max of 18. Maybe we should do this, since we're gonna need this going all over the place. Have it go into actual high capacity storage so it doesn't get full here. But now I need to actually get fuel over here. I wonder if the drones need to be fueled at both points or just at one, because if they fly over here, they'll always refuel here. I'm kind of curious. I think what I'll do is I'll belt down rocket fuel to this point so that this area is always fully fueled. And then we'll just see if we let this run, if they eventually just run out or if they'll always be fueled here, because they're not that far apart. I gotta imagine the drones have enough juice to get from point A to point B, and if they're getting all their fuel from here, then maybe that's all they need, instead of being fueled at both points. But what we'll do... First we'll expand the floor out, because I'm going to run the belt underneath so it's not cluttering up everything. Yeah, that's good. Let's see how much of the fuel we've produced. Oh, it's full. All right. Well, that works out, I suppose. So we want this to dip underneath. And we're going to run it all the way over here. It's okay if it's kind of hanging off the edge. Eventually I'll have to fill in all this floor space and it'll be completely enclosed. Okay, we just need to keep running it all the way over, and then we'll take the lift and drop it down, and then we'll go right in there. Oh, I might need to pull it back a little. It's too close. Is it going to top out at 100? Yep. Okay, so now this thing is fully fueled. And I'm assuming this is still pulling in like two stacks and change. Oh no, 3 stacks and change. Okay, that's not terrible. So 3 stacks and change. All right. Well, this is one spot that needs additional copper. So what we'll do is we'll run. Let's see, how do we want to do it? Guess we can extend the factory out here. I don't want the drones clipping straight through the floor. It'll look kind of wonky. But we can extend out the area around the port. It wouldn't change any gameplay. It would just aesthetically look strange. So instead of doing that, we'll go here, and we're going to lift this. I could send it above ground, I guess. Or we'll go underneath and just pop it up right near the merger. Be clean. We could pop it up, maybe right there. go. And now I can have you going right over there. Wait. Oh, that's a splitter, not a merger. Oh. I think I originally was going to plan on having this branch off into multiple spots to create sheets. Alright. Instead of undoing all that, we'll put the merger down here. There we go. And so now we have a whole bunch more copper ingots coming in, which should make it more speedy for this line to be producing all of sheets, which are going down here, and they're being sent to a couple different spots. So the oscillator, wait, these aren't going here. They're going here. AI limiters, which I did need. And over here to high-speed connectors. So that should help a little. Now we need to solve the problem with computers. I think I do want to put computers over here. Adaptive control units aren't consuming them super quick. It's these supercomputers. But we need computers for the radio control units, which is why we even started doing this to begin with. So let's see, what does that mean? If we took our production, where are you? Computers, right here. If we take these 3 production lines, so cable, so what we looked at earlier, cable, circuit boards, plastic, and we put them up one floor and potentially split them into, I'm thinking 3 manufacturers, which is going to eat up a lot. But if we do that, that's going to be our computer setup. And then I might have to work backwards to get more of the circuit boards and more of plastic. First, let's upgrade this. These need to be coming out here a lot faster. Okay. So we need to yank everything out of here. I'll leave the dimensional storage. This is going to need to be moved up to wherever we're actually doing production. But let's actually give us some room so we can see exactly what needs to go where. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There's going to be a bit of belts crisscrossing for now, but that's okay. Okay, so here's 3 components for the computers, but each of these needs to be split 3 times. What makes the most sense? Have them be tiered? I think we have to have them tiered, otherwise they're gonna intersect with each other and it'll look like garbage. Let's try this and see if it works. If you go here, you go up here. And you go up here. And we said 3 manufacturers. This is going to be a test. If this works, then I might be able to use this setup for a couple other things that have multiple components. These things are wide too. These are wide boys. So maybe we do it like this. 1, 2, 3. If we connect it, we go 1, 2, 3. So first port. Oh, this might look a little weird. Second port. And then third port. I guess I could set them in stacks, but let's just see if this will get everything I need first. Okay, yeah, that. And we'll get everything hooked up. And then what we'd want to do is have a merger coming out of here. And that's backwards. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Dumping into storage. We can dump a dimensional one on top for overflow so we can actually have that stored if we need to craft anything that uses computers. Okay, let's see how this works. Let's see how much it burns on my plastic. Let's put you here. Okay, now we gotta turn them on. Okay, so everything using computers was hooked up to, I think it's this lift here, which was pulling everything up from one floor below. Yeah. So we can delete that. If this ends up working, we're going to actually run the production back underneath and have it pop up here. Or we could... no, I'm going to run it underneath. If we wrap it around, it'll just take up more space on this floor. And it'll look like garbage. Okay, get rid of all this. And this actually does free up a little, not a ton, but a little bit of space on this floor. And one thing that's a problem with computers is they craft incredibly slow. So what we could do is we could throw in 3 power shards, and you gotta go look at my overall consumption. How are we doing? Just get us up over 10 yet? No, not yet. Still doing okay for power. Let's see. How many different recipes for plastic do we have? We have residual plastic. Standard one is down here, which is from oil. And then we have the fuel and rubber one. This one, I might need to set up an alternate production at the oil site. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do, because this makes stacks of 12. This alternate one and the regular one creates stacks of 2. And this one creates a byproduct. So I could actually pull one of my fuel refineries or fuel plants on the oil site off and pump that over, because I have a ton of rubber. I have more rubber than I know what to do with. That might be part of the solution to getting more plastic. But in the meantime, let's actually do what we're going to do with this. We want it to pull up right about here. We're going to run it under. Actually get the stuff over to where it needs to be. Oh, and my inventory's all cluttered. Probably on account of all the stuff that I was deleting and setting up. I got all this ore on me too. Get rid of that. So we're gonna run that over here, just like we did on the other side. Okay, where do we need it to pop up? Oh, right here. Alright, it's gonna clip through. That's alright. We'll worry about making it prettier down the road. Okay, now we can just hook it up to this original point. And now we have computers feeding over here. These are crafting incredibly slow, but that's alright. This is the component we need for first the objectives under phase 4. So I guess the next step, now that we've done that, I don't know if it's completely solved the problem, but at least now we have more computers going. Now what we need to do is actually get the setup for radio control units, which is why I even started doing this to begin with. Ooh, there's a lot of gifts. I wonder if there's a spawn limit, how many of those it'll drop in at any given moment. Okay. So we need to route computers, oscillators, and casings. Oscillators and casings shouldn't be a big deal. Oscillators are all the way over here. So maybe I will put everything... Oh, 2 hour warning. Alright, should probably save. We can run one line of computers from the splitter. I guess over here, and we'll have the oscillators cycle out. And the connectors are on the other side. They're on this floor. Okay, let's see if we can get this set up before we start to wrap up the stream for today. Well, at least we know this setup works. It's not the most elegant. If we wanted to make it actually look pretty, we would just... Technically, I'll have to think about this for another 3 component manufacturer. I guess I could have set all of the splitters on top of each other and just had them split from one. It would look a little bit neater. I didn't have to stagger them like this. I could have had them all on top of one another and everything pulling in. Actually, I want to see what that looks like. It's going to stop this for a sec. So find out if I'm about to make this way worse, but I'm kind of curious. So we did it that way. And we had you going up here. Where's the thing that lets me loft them? I've never actually used these things before. Oh, interesting. It just immediately sticks it on the ground floor. So we'd have to do another one over here? I think we have to do it like that. And these would have to be too high. Like that. And then the third one, like that. Oh yeah, that looks way better. It's a little bit more of a pain in the rear to set up like that, but that's a good blueprint. For the middle one, we have to go like that. Nope. Come on. Like that. Third one has to go like that. Oh no, it needs to go up the top. Whoops. This one has to come out here. Like that. Oh, I guess this one's not needed. And it'll snap straight. Uh-oh, I think I'm out of plastic. Okay, I don't know if this is necessarily the most efficient way to do what I'm trying to do here, but it does look nicer. Everything is stacked properly. Yeah, I'm out of plastic. Okay. That's going to be the next major thing. What we're gonna ideally want is for the plastic site to be dropping off full crates of, I think, 18, whatever the full crates on each train load at once, or more. So that everything being deposited here is coming in quickly. In fact, if we look at the map, I might have to look for another spot that has oil, which I think that's what these drops are. These are usually some sort of fluid, either water or oil. I might need to set up another plastic production site to pull everything here, but I'm going to try and maximize here because there's a lot of oil. There's an oil multi-vein here that I can finally tap, and several individual ones. So there's a lot of oil here. But for now we have a better setup for computers, at least. Okay, so the last thing I said I would do is run the line for computers over here, so we can do radio control units next. That will be something for next time. I need to go all the way down there. If I really wanted to make my factory pretty, all of these belt lines that are going underneath the platforms would all be using the same stacking devices that I did on that one setup over on the other side, so that they're all on top of each other. But for now, this is alright. I'm probably going to have to rip all this stuff out at some point. Anything, I might need to go play around with the blueprint maker, which is this big frame over here, and tweak this setup, this 3-component setup, and maybe look at ripping out a whole bunch of different things, since there's a bunch of components that use 3 or 4, but for a 3 setup, this here, being able to plop one of these things down without having to do it by hand would be a huge time saver. So I will look at doing that for next time, now that I know that setup works. But now we need the last component, the aluminum frames, which are here? Nope, they are over here. I'm not using these for a ton at the moment. So we can actually split this outgoing line. And just like the other one, we're going to run it underneath and have it pop out over there. And then that'll be the last bit to do. Oops. Wrong way. I guess we can wrap it around and then hook it all the way over. I shouldn't have deleted the floor panel. We'll just kind of guess where we need to come up. It's going to be roughly over there somewhere. are we going all over here? Looking at all this floor space out here, we definitely expand some of the production out this way for some of these components I need. I'll have to look at doing that since I got to retool a lot of this floor anyway. Worry about that later, but it's something to think about since there's tons of space. Okay, let's figure out where we're going. We want it to pop up right here. Well, that's why it must have gotten kinked right at the end. We must have perfect right angles on our belts at all times. Okay, I think that's all the components. So I'm just going to do one manufacturer for these radio control units. I'll probably need more. In fact, besides just the drone platforms, what else do I need this for? Okay, turbo motors, which I think I'm actively making already. Pressure conversion cube. That is also something I need. Okay, well, we'll do one for now. I don't have enough to split. Let's run you here. And you here. And we'll throw this into storage, and I'll put a dimensional depot on top of it since we actively need it for drones. And I see we have a drop a beat from Red Dragon and the usual 5 hydrates. Almost finished with my smoothie. I've been drinking kind of slow today. I've been doing a lot of talking. I know for these Satisfactory streams, they're probably not the most exciting, but I do find this game very interesting to talk about just because there's a lot to think through. So hopefully you folks enjoy every once in a while sitting down and watching me work through my thought process while I try and build things. When we eventually get to the point in the game where I'm building like aesthetic factories and trying to make everything look cool and nice, I think that'll be a lot more interesting. But for now, I'm still greatly enjoying this game because I'm not even close to beating it. Let's put 2 of these in here. Let's get all this stuff organized, and then we will do the redeem and get ready to wrap up for today. These need to go in here. That's why they're taking up so much space. That's it for these. In fact, I can dump those in the storage in case they need to be used elsewhere. Like right there. We could put the plastics in storage. I will try and solve the plastic crisis by the next time. Well, I definitely will have it solved by the next time we stream this. Hopefully we'll have cleared phase 4 by the time we revisit Satisfactory. We're in the kind of late game now, pretty close to end game, but there's so much to do still. Okay. That should be all we need here. That should be feeding radio control units up here till it maxes out, and then it'll start stacking them up. We'll have to deal with all the other production stuff later. We actually didn't do really any progress towards completing phases, but that's alright. We did learn how drones work. So I'm definitely going to be doing more with drones. Now it's going to be a matter of making some more factories, maximizing production, and all that fun stuff. But let me go ahead and pause BGM. And we will come up with a fun beat to sort of wrap up the stream for today. It's been a hot minute. Maybe we could do something a little bit faster. I've been trying to train speed, so let's do something that'll be a good practice run for fast patterns. Let's give it a try. Let's go. Hi, new folks. Shout out to Wazzy and the Toxicure crew for the raid. I had a drop a beat redeem, and you folks just happened to join at the right time.
Cop 5 haircuts at the same time.
Let me get a shout out for
Jet
Wazzy
ski,
first
made a rhyme.
off.
Foie gras bust of Albert Einstein, get money.
Oh, never mind. Thank you for whoever did that. And Sour Lad coming in at the resub for, wow, 27 months. Thanks, dude. But welcome, folks. How's everything going? C-Bits, Dinoauria, Phoenix Wolf. How was the stream today? This is Wazzy's first day back after recovering from the plague. Hopefully it was productive or entertaining. What were you guys doing today? We were we've been steadily chipping away at production and working on our factory in Satisfactory today. It was moderately successful. I did see you have tinnitus, Wazi. Is that because of the plague or because of my beats? Really, either or. Bit says needs more spaghetti. There's a lot of spaghetti here, man. Here, I'll give you a good example. This is the top floor, so it's harder to see. But if we go down one floor, there's a lot of spaghetti on the top of the factory, on the main floor. This is like a 4-floor factory. Hey, Prince Lemon's here. What's up, Prince? Did you come over here from Wazi's stream? I haven't seen you in a good while, my dude. Hope you are well. Shoutouts to the Prince, one of my few beatboxing peers in the VTuber scene. And Wazi has tinnitus. Still. I have slight tinnitus that comes and goes. It's very annoying. Sometimes my hearing will just shut off and I'll have ringing for like a minute. Ah, Prince has been chilling here playing Destiny. I got you. But to give folks who just tuned in kind of a recap of what we've been doing, we have steadily been working on the factory site here. Last time I streamed this before today was, I think, almost a month ago. But there's still so much to be done. We learned how drones work. And then we realized that there's some production bottlenecks that I'm going to need to solve. But we are quickly becoming further on our path to being Galactic Production Manager, which is the point of Satisfactory. I'm trying not to get mobbed by angry alien life forms as we run around the map. Oh, is the chat broken again? Oh, it looks like it. I don't know what causes that. I don't know if it's a problem with OBS or if it's a problem from Twitch. But yeah, I could see that. Looks like the last time the chat updated was a while ago, so even the raid didn't come through. Oh, that's annoying. But we were actually getting ready to wrap up shortly here. So we might be able to take all of the good vibes from Wazi and the crew coming over and find someone else that we can spread said good vibes to. So to that end, I don't need to turn the BGM back on. Let me see who is online that we can raid before we wrap up for the day. I'm going to have to probably do this on my phone because I think my Twitch raid stuff is still broken. Oh, let's see. Hey, Yatra's online. One of my other VTuber peers. She is drawing? I didn't even know she draws. I know she normally does gaming stuff. But we can go head over to Yatra's stream and, like I said, spread the chill vibes. So let me get everything queued up, and then we will head over there in a moment. Should go once I queue it up on my phone. Oh, I didn't know the mods can initiate raids, Red Dragon. That's fine, I got it. But if I ever can't, then I will definitely ask one of you to help me. All right, there it goes. All right, so let us go ahead and go to outro. We will mute desktop audio. So we will be back in a couple days on Wednesday. We'll be continuing SMT5 Vengeance. I would like us to keep making progress in all of our games we're actively playing. Portrait of Ruin should be back next week. And then we have Elden Ring on Saturday at Red Dragon for more absolute pain and punishment. So, in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Sorry we couldn't hang out longer with all the folks who came over from the raid, but shout outs to Wazzy and the crew again. Hope you all have a good rest of your evening, and I will catch you in the next one. Let's see if the raid will actually go through.